Okay na, sir?
Sige, ready?
Radyo Kausbawan, 103.1 MHz. Nagpaminaw po sa Radyo Kausbawan, 103.1 MHz. Gikan sa Palumpon Institute of Technology, Palumpon, Leyte. Radyo Kausbawan, usa ka Lucis Fellow Community Radio, usa ka espesyal na proyekto gikan sa National Nutrition Council sa Department of Health.
Alam sa insakto, labas o subay sa impormasyon sa nutrisyon o panglawas. Radyo Kausbawan, 103.1 MHz. Ato ni...
My morning greetings to all, and most especially to all of our students in CWTS, NSTP 2, who enrolled in Palompon Institute of Technology, Palompon, Leyte. Welcome to our class of CWTS. I am Sir Ronnie, your NSTP coordinator. Today, Saturday, February 6, I think this is already our third meeting. Again, you're listening to Radio Kausbawan, DYNG FM 103.1 MHz. Ato ni. Now, I would like to recap the topic given to you last meeting. Again, NSTP 2 of CWTS is intended for the community immersion. One of the salient features of the National Service Training Program, or NSTP, particularly in Civic Welfare Training Service component, is that it focused on the promotion of the general welfare of the Filipino via responsive and altruistic community-based projects by student trainees as they undergo community immersion in fulfillment of the requirements of NSTP. Now again and again, the 1987 Philippine Constitution, what is it? Provides that the state recognizes the vital role of the youth in nation building. So it shall inculcate in the youth patriotism and nationalism, and encourage their involvement in public and civic affairs. So the youth of a community, they're both potential actors and a resource in solving local problems. So, involving young people in local affairs can both develop the community and solve specific problems. As youth invest their time and talent in their community, they can develop a sense of ownership. Of course, Father, also that with this community immersion, the relationship between students, teachers, and other citizens and leaders as well develop the community by reinforcing local norms and expectations and building community social capital. So these investments made by and for youth can be drawn upon for future community action. So, in short, youth leadership development is needed to provide a firmer foundation for future leadership and solidarity in the community towards a strong republic via the National Service Training Program. So here is the suggested course syllabus for NSTP CWTS 2, the Civic Welfare Training Service. Again, the CWTS 1 is a prerequisite of CWTS 2. So you cannot enroll CWTS 2 unless you have completed CWTS 1. Now, yesterday, I tried to complete the list of students in my enrollment. I have noticed that there are still a lot of students who has a grade in NSTP 1, but they are not yet enrolled officially in NSTP 2. So take note, my dear students, especially BSIT students under Jeb Codera. Only I think 40% have enrolled. There are still 60%. So please try to follow up or check your enrollment. I think not only in NSTP 2 that you have to check and follow up your enrollment. It's almost how many meetings already that we started the class. And I have noticed that there are still a lot of students who are not yet officially enrolled. Not officially enrolled. So again, you cannot enroll CWTS 2 unless you have completed CWTS 1. Now, with regards to this course, again, here is the suggested course syllabus for CWTS 2. The course description of the course, the Civic Welfare Training Service 2, is again a sequel to CWTS 1. It is designed to immerse students in activities that will arm them with the capability to contribute in the upliftment of the general welfare and the quality of life of the community, and the enhancement of its facilities, especially those that are devoted to improving the health, environment, entrepreneurship, safety, recreation, and the morale of the citizens. Now, first topic that I would like to give you, I would like you to understand the role of NSTP in what we call community development. In other words, understanding the role of NSTP in community development. I think just this morning I have observed in Barangay Masawalo, the barangay officials, including the tanods and so on and so forth, they're doing what we call beautification and cleaning the streets. So you can I think students of CWTS, what barangay you belong, you can access, or you can go with them and try to prove that you're doing what we call community service. This is one of the concrete example of what we call community immersion. Now again, understanding the role of NSTP in community development. The community service learning programs is to create an environment of learning by what? By doing. And to begin the process of helping youth assume roles of social responsibility. Community service projects also can increase local leaders and the appreciation of youth contribution to community affairs. We believe that the perception among the adult community can be changed from one viewing youth as a problem. You might think that the youth of today is a problem. No. By this, viewing youth as what? A resource. A resource. Human resource. Now, changing this perception is important if leaders are going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity to harness the energy and enthusiasm of young people to build more sustainable community action. More community action. Now, community service learning includes a broad array of activities, mentoring the adults and the preschoolers, peer tutoring for others, students, health teaching, assisting the disadvantaged groups, individuals, developing a community daycare program for children, landscaping, and so more. So again, I have mentioned this morning a concrete example that this morning I have observed when I go to Masawalo. The barangay officials, what they're doing there. So you can get involved. Those who enrolled now in CWTS and instructor, please, you can cooperate and coordinate with what they're doing. Now, again, the first input is what we call understanding the role of NSTP in community development. So I hope that with the input given to you this morning, I hope that you will see how important is community immersion. Now here is the suggested activities along the different dimensions of development. It is based on the felt needs of the community. As what I have told you, the months of January and February, one of the activity is supporting the Green Philippines project as what we call in tree planting activities. So by this month of February, student of CWTS, you have planted trees. And there should be a proof of accomplishment of your project. How? There will be pictorials or documentary reports from your barangay captain. So, I hope that you will be doing this. Now, another activity that you can undergo is the health-related concerns. Information dissemination on diseases like SARS and AIDS, and most especially the present problem, like what problem we are facing now, the COVID-19 pandemic. You have to respond. And question here, how did you respond to the present problem? You will be doing something. Again, for this requirement, you need pictorials or documentary reports. So, again, you can give your accomplishment to your respective instructors. You can give your accomplishment to your respective instructors. So with this month until I think midterm grading is already approaching, it might be in the first week or second week of March, I need you to have these two major activities: environmental awareness as well as health-related concerns. Again, there should be a proof of accomplishment like pictorials or documentary reports. What else that we are going to undergo in my course outline here? The activities that you have to accomplish. There is what we call safety dimension, like disaster relief services. Disaster relief services. So, tingali, pwede mo mamulit diya, ilain ang malata o di malata, ang mga plastic, asay butang. So, this is a concrete example in a clean and green environment. And you can coordinate with your barangay officials. Another activity here, there is what we call recreation and wellness program. So you can conduct what we call sports, laro ng lahi or what. So organization of sports. And you can conduct all indoor and outdoor activities. But again, because of the pandemic now, you can try to initiate your own activity with regards to recreation and wellness program. Another suggested activity here, morals of citizenry. This will tell something about values formation and education, human rights promotion, or you may have to conduct Bible sessions or fellowship. Or you can organize community-based ministries, youth ministries, and you can promote good citizenship values like makadiyos, makatao, makabayan, at makakalikasan. So, again, in community immersion, this is now what I call learning by doing. So, theory without practice is what? Theory without practice is what? Sterile. Why gamit? Useless. And practice also without theory is blind. So we have to combine this. In the first semester, I have given you the input. It's almost about theory. And this time now, we go into practice. Now again, I would like to recap the discussion highlights of community immersion. I repeat, maybe because last meeting, some of you was not able to listen. Now, community immersion is one important requirement of the National Service Training Program, prescribed to students, male and female alike, whether in private and public higher education institutions and technical vocational schools. In essence, it is the practicum-based element of NSTP, where lessons learned and acquired in NSTP 1. Now, this practicum requirement is essential to NSTP 2. NSTP 2, applicable to Civic Welfare Training Service component, as well as also LTS. But here in PIT, we have offered only the CWTs. Now, as a concept, community immersion is a strategy in community organizing that is sought to imbibe among the NSTP trainees a better understanding and realization of the different community concerns through exposure on actual life situations, specifically in what communities, the deprived, the depressed, and the underprivileged communities. So these experiences will allow the student of CWTS to integrate with other people who may facilitate them to undergo certain changes that will make them civic conscious and socially responsible citizens. So community immersion is a process. As a process, is aimed at developing among student trainees through the training program their appreciation of rendering community works, which is quintessential in affording for them the opportunity to experience and put themselves in real life situations and the communities they serve. So for this reason, each student or trainee must have a genuine feel of living with the people in order that they may understand and relate with community concerns as they go through a self-transformation and personal growth at the same time. So, this is again, community immersion, an approach of developing among the NSTP students the concept of service and empowerment as they reach out to the deprived, the depressed, and the underprivileged communities and the marginalized segments of the society. So, I hope that this time now it's almost clear to you what we are doing, what we have to accomplish in the second semester. It's all about what we call community immersion. So, an approach of bringing the NSTP student trainee to the deprived, the depressed, the underprivileged communities, and to underserved, the marginalized sectors, providing them the venue where they may encounter paradigm shift from being mere spectators of community action. So with this, I hope that this time now I would like to give to you the objectives of the NSTP community immersion. What do you think is the objectives of NSTP community immersion? The community immersion requirement of NSTP is a mechanism specifically designed to allow student trainees to what? First, you should know how to define and understand community immersion. Define and understand community immersion as an approach and strategy of developing projects in serving people and communities. Another objective of NSTP community immersion: enrich knowledge and competencies on community immersion as a process for development. Bisan sa ginagmay lang, kanalang tree planting, dako na kay nagtabang. Kung maglimpyo-limpyo ng mga barangay officials diha sa inyong barangay, pwede mo appeal. Just some sort of concern to your community. Then another objective is apply the principles and concepts of working in the community through immersion projects and activities. Apply the principles and concepts of working in the community. So, bisan sa ginagmay lang. Then, expose NSTP trainees. Another objective of community immersion is expose NSTP trainees in depressed, deprived, and the underprivileged communities and marginalized groups of our society. Then, another objective, appreciate the values of community immersion. The values of community immersion as a means of developing themselves as citizens and helping people improve their way of life and in alleviating their living conditions. Another objective of the community immersion is to enhance the students' civic consciousness as well as defense preparedness. And the last but not the least of all the objectives I have mentioned, develop the ethics of service. Develop the ethics of service imbued with good citizenship values like makadiyos, makatao, makabayan, at makakalikasan. So I think the best motto here is, I come to serve, not to be served. And that is what our God Jesus Christ is telling us. Jesus said, I come to serve, not to be served. Now, to summarize about community immersion, take note that community immersion is a means for NSTP trainees to value the critical role they play in nation building as they begin to have a deepened sense of awareness and involvement in real life situations and the communities that encourage them to do civic works, particularly those that relate to the dimensions on education, health, entrepreneurship, environment, safety and disaster management, sports and recreations, morals of citizenry, and other social welfare concern. So, it is a scheme intended for them to contribute significantly in upholding the youth and members in nation building by setting the groundworks of development and the grassroots level. So, I would like to end my topic here of CWTS. Thank you for listening.
Kanina ang mga
So,
students ni Sir Jim wala.
Okay, students, ako nang ginaon. I have here a reminder from my secretary with regards to the list of enrollment of students. Mention na ako ganina, no, ang kang klase ni Sir Jim. Kindly check. It's only 30 or 40% ang na-enroll. Ang uban wala pa. And there are still some students of IT students also who are not officially enrolled. So take note, Human ang adding and dropping. So i-follow up ninyo within this week. Aron ako mag-check with the registrar. Aron mapil ang inyong ngan. Kaya kung di mapil inyong ngan, sorry. You will have to enroll next year. You will have to enroll next year in the second semester because you are not yet officially enrolled. So that is one of the important reminder for all students of CWTs. Now, with regards to my class in JEC 11, I will be coming back at 9:30. So I will have a short break. JEC 11, the life and works of Rizal. So thank you. Again, I am Sir Ronnie, your instructor in CWTS.